All good things must come to an end. And by the end of the Reedsy Masterclass, the idea is to have the makings of a first draft ready. Unfortunately, I fell a bit behind due to a lot of personal issues. However, I've set a new deadline and I'm working to make it happen. Anyway, the course ends with the next steps after the novel is complete. Well, I'm Mike with WriterSanctuary, and today in the Reedsy Masterclass of How to Write a Novel, we're looking at wrapping things up and taking the next steps before the book is published. Well, day one was all about setting up your editing plan. How do you progress after the first draft is complete? It's nice to know that I was on the right track when I published A Freelancer's Tale in Kingmaker. Tom Bromley helps you start setting up a plan of action when it comes to polishing up the book. Now, I won't go into too much detail as you need to take the course. However, he does mention something that I often say, whether it's for writing a book or blogging. Taking time away from the content gives you a chance to reread it through with clear eyes. That's why you can find all kinds of grammatical and spelling errors in a blog post several weeks later. It's no longer fresh in your mind. However, I don't think I can leave my book alone for a month and a half. I suppose I can take some time to start the next book while beta readers give the first draft a once-over. Anyway, Tom Bromley also brings up the use of beta readers, which I have talked about in the past. If not for my beta readers, Kingmaker would have been a much different book overall, and probably for the worse. Now, when using beta readers, it's best to collate the comments and identify where more than one person is pointing out the same issues. In Kingmaker, one of my main characters got a complete overhaul as everyone essentially hated his initial mannerisms and behaviors. Tom also brings up using writing coaches and professional editors to help, but they will more than likely cost you a few bucks. Now, when it comes to making up editing plans though, I like using the comment tool in the Reedsy writing app. I'll highlight a section of a bit of text to remind myself that I need some changes here and there. In fact, I used it when going over the comments for the beta readers so I could determine if changes were actually needed. Now keep in mind that just because someone doesn't like a certain element of your story, you don't have to change it. You have the final word. But when a lot of people are pointing out the same thing, it might be worth considering fixing that part of your book. Now, day two focused on the action on that editing plan for your book. Tom Bromley says that there are two types of writers, those who view editing as dreadful, mundane chore, and those who enjoy the process. I am in the latter. I love being able to edit my books because it gives me a chance to relive the story once again. And then I can change details and make adjustments to make it that much better of a story. I truly enjoy everything I write. Now, the editing process itself should be rewarding and shouldn't be about getting rid of elements that promote your creativity. Also, keep in mind that editing isn't about spelling and grammar, though you will undoubtedly find those issues in the first draft. It's mostly about how you can develop the text to help bring your story to life. It's about making the manuscript tighter and improving the overall pace and flow of your story. Now, the examples in the video were spot on as Tom showed examples of what editing can do and what it looks like. In my case, Kingmaker turned into a vastly different book thanks to my beta readers as well as myself going over the story several times. Though knowing what I know now, I could have done far more with it. And day three was the last lesson, and it was more of a pep talk than anything. Although writing does take talent, there's more involved in finishing writing a book. Things like determination, dedication, confidence, and fortitude are also prominent elements. Remember, most people who want to write a book never get past the 20,000 word mark. Now, Tom Bromley equates writing a book to that of running a marathon, and I'd have to agree. Writing isn't a sprint, and it takes a lot of hard work and mental fitness to cross that finish line. For instance, I'm referring to your fitness of creativity and knowing how a book is structured and paced. That, combined with your imagination, can create one hell of a novel. Now, as for Tom's final two bits of advice, well, that would be telling, wouldn't it? Overall, I quite enjoyed the last 15 weeks worth of information. I've learned a lot, and I feel confident I can make some sweeping changes to my book. Although I already had a bit of knowledge going in, the things I learned far outweighed the things I thought I knew. So what's next for me? Well, first off, I'm planning on finishing Shadows of Atlantic City by March 22nd, at which point I'll start working on finishing Fury, the sequel to Kingmaker. It's already halfway done, but now I can go back and spruce it up with what I learned in the course. I'm also working on publishing an overall review of the Reedsy Masterclass and a list of pros and cons that I feel others might want to know. Spoiler alert though, in my experience, it was worth the time. A good portion of the cons that I came across were mostly technical, so when it comes to anything Tom Bromley was teaching, I don't know if I'd change a single thing. Now, let's see what I can write. But if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. For more videos about self-publishing, blogging, freelance writing, or anything else I cover, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. I think that's going to do it for me today. I have a blog post to write about my interview for next week. I'll see you next time.